Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to do this guide for everyone here. This guide is going to go over the new set that we have, and because this is such a really good set, this is an interesting set, it's got a lot of advantages. I wanted to go over some of the best ways to collect the cards from this set. The new set obviously is Puzzle Masters 2 or PMA 2. I'm just calling it PMA 2. That's not really what it's called, obviously, but I like to just use that to help distinguish from the first PMAs. I'll just refer to those as PMA 1s. And this is a really interesting set, and I think what you're going to see is that it's a very valuable set. The PMAs in general are really good just because you can always use these no matter if you're playing a legacy event or if you're playing a standard event. These ones, of course, will always be standard and will never go to legacy. So in that way, they're very valuable because you can use them all the time. And that's really excellent. You know, for this, what I'd have to say is that this is a long-term investment, and that's been something that's been brought up with some of the other content creators. This is a long-term investment just because it's going to take a lot of these gold crystals. You can see here at the top of the screen, I only have one left because I've been buying a ton of them. And, you know, for me, if you take a look here, there are some really interesting cards. You can stop the video or you can bring it up on your own app and then take a look. But there's a good number of cards here. If you take a look at the bottom, it says there's 116 cards. There's a good number of them here that are mythic and masterpiece, and then you can see now I'm finally getting over to what are the rares, and the biggest part of this entire collection will definitely be the rares. And you'll see that when you're trying to collect these, you're gonna have to be pulling rares first, and the reason for that obviously is that there's a lot of these rares. Most of them are rares, in fact, and when you take a look at the percentage, right, a ton of the rares that you're going to have are going to come out first just because of this here, right? 86% is definitely going to be a rare. One thing that I really like about this is that these are all non-duplicates, all right? So if you were to buy this, you'll definitely be able to get a nice card, and it'll be a card that's not a duplicate. So that really helps. Just kind of thinking about it, if you have 86.21% here, and every time you pull a rare, the chances of you getting one of these other ones definitely gets a little bit better because you're taking away cards that you don't really have to pull anymore, right? Because these are all non-duplicates. So really cool. One of the things that you may have noticed just by looking at your screen is that I got all of these little ones here, and the way I got all of these ones basically because I bought the collector's bundle. And the collector's bundle is $94.99 US, I believe, and that might be a little bit expensive for some people, but I really feel like if you're gonna go with trying to collect all of these cards, right, and that's what I suggest you do. I suggest you collect all of them. If you're going to try to collect all of them, I'd say that's probably the best way if you have that ability, right? If you have that ability, I would go and take a look and buy those collector bundles. And the reason for it is with the collector bundle, you'll see that I got 14 cards that I'm going to be able to pull, yeah? I got 1 here, 4 here, 1, 1 for the green, 1 again, and of course this 4 up here as well. Okay, so that basically means you'll have 14 cards that you can get. If you went with the monocrystals, and you can see over here, for about the same price, $5 extra, you can get 3,000 of these crystals here. 3,000 is basically going to buy you 12 cards. 12 cards, you know, that's nice, but if you went with the $95.99 bundle, as I just previously said, you're going to be able to get 2 extra cards, 14 as opposed to 12. So if you have that ability, I would definitely go that route. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to read off a couple of questions from the forums. Now, I just want to encourage everybody to go and look at the forums. I'll put up the link here if I can figure out how, because a lot of those questions that are on there are probably questions that you guys already have in your minds, and you guys want some answers. And what's really good is that they've already answered these for you. Alright, so one of the things they've put on the forums is this question here. Will PMA 2 be always standard? And it's just I told you, yeah, it will always be standard, permanently standard, kind of like I say, perpetually standard, so you can use it all the time. That's a really good thing. You may be asking, will PMA still be available, that PMA 1? And the answer is yes, these are going to be available still. And one thing that they talked about on the forums is that these PMA 2s are not going to mix with the PMA 1s, meaning that if you're very, very close to maybe pulling that last PMA 1 that you like, these guys are not going to mix in there and then throw off your random card generator kind of thing, right? You're still going to have the same ability to pull that PMA 1 card that you had previously, because this is a new set entirely onto itself. So that's kind of cool. Now, one thing I really want to point out is another thing that's available for you guys to read on the forums. One of the questions they brought up on the forums is, with PMA 2, which sets will drop out of standard? The answer is none of the sets will drop out of standard. This is not one of those sets that I would like to refer to as like a full set. Only like the full sets will drop out other sets into Legacy. That's kind of a bad way of explaining it, but you see full sets like OTJ is a full set, right? So that one will definitely count as one of the ones that will go towards dropping the oldest 4 out of the standard. So this one won't do that. And now another thing that people may be asking is, will OTJ then become craftable since this is a new set that comes out? Can you go and get the OTJ cards that you're missing? Can you go pick them up with the crafting orbs? And the answer is no, and kind of for the same reason, right? This is not what you would refer to as a full set, and it doesn't push any of those bigger sets down into Legacy or out of standard, and it doesn't make the OTJ craftable like in that way. So yeah, a couple of interesting things. You can find these questions and a whole lot more on the official forums. But yeah, I would definitely say start collecting this as quickly as you can. This is a long-term investment just because these cards are going to be available to you and usable for the foreseeable future, really. So the more you have these, the better they'll be able to pay off. The more you'll see the return on your investment. And I would just try to collect these as quickly as I possibly could. With that said, I will be doing a video coming up with the unboxing of all of these cards here, right? So you can take a look. I got a bunch that I got to open, and I'm really hoping to get some of the ones that I've kind of seen to be really good, and we'll put that in another video. Okay, so really short video for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As I always say, like and subscribe. It helps the channel. And yeah, that's it. Good gaming, guys.